So this building right here is one of the buildings that the Amish built. And the county has told him he cannot live in that while he rebuilds his house. So I guess he can just sleep in the dirt.
Hey, you guys remember North Carolina? I still remember North Carolina. You remember all those people that were displaced by the hurricane? They don't really have any homes and the government isn't giving them any? Well, now they're coming in and saying since they're homeless, they can't take care of their children. Now they're looking to take away these kids away from their parents. Yeah, that's our United States government right now. Not going to help you, not going to give you a home, but hey, if you got kids, we're going to take those. Trust us, we don't lose 330,000 children. We don't do that at all, do we? Fuck you, government.
So apparently the Amish built all these homes for the hurricane victims, but the state authorities won't let the victims stay in the homes because the homes aren't up to code. They're tiny homes. Tiny homes don't need a fucking code. You go to Africa, they make tiny homes there too. They make them out of little feces. Okay? And nobody's kicking down their huts in Africa. They stay up there for a long time and everyone's fine with it. It's literal witchcraft. Straight up literal witchcraft, these codes. There's someone's like, oh no, we can't let someone stay in this home because this guy wrote down on a piece of paper a series of words. It's fucking witchcraft. We're being imprisoned by warlocks who use witchcraft. This is the literal world that we live in. This is not I'm not making like an analogy. They're doing the same thing with climate change. This is a prime example. Anyone who's worried about climate change, take a look at this, okay? Yes, if there's an oil spill in the ocean, that's a bad thing. But in terms of the entire fucking planet, it's a fart in the wind.
So you're telling me that the people of North Carolina had tiny homes built for them, 70 plus something homes, and the county or the state comes in and says, oh, it's not up to code, you can't live here, and now they're homeless again, so the DSS comes along and they're like, hey, I'm taking your kids if you can't provide shelter. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I'm over here in the Pacific Northwest watching all of this unfold. And the only reason I'm talking about all of this is because my best friend lives in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And she's telling me firsthand the things that are happening. What the fuck?
You don't hate the government enough. In a story posted by the older millennial, looks like the Amish went to work and helped the people of North Carolina with their temporary build. But it seems like the local and state government kicked them out for the temporary housing because it was not up to code. Look, these people needed shelter. They should have been working with these people to get these buildings up to code, or working with the Amish to get this temporary housing done. But instead kicked them out because it wasn't up to code. Are you fucking shitting me? Are you shitting me? This is the Amish we're talking about. I mean, these people build barns with their hands and primitive tools. These barns stand up for ages, and they kicking them out over temporary codes? Come on, man.
So it's bad enough that we don't have any help, that FEMA's turning us down, that the government's not helping us. Western North Carolina is now covered in snow. We don't know what to do. We're not getting any help. Please help us. We need you, America.
Awful what they're doing.
What are they doing with
They're
the
taking the kids if they don't have places to go. Like if they don't have a camper or like something to go in.
Right.
They can't. They're closing.
CPS is coming to
They are
town.
taking. Yes, that's what they're doing.
Even if they're living with neighbors and their parents, they're coming to take them.
I know if they're in that shelter and they don't have a safe place to go when they leave that shelter, they will take them. And we have DSS lady on our team, and she confirmed it. We went to the place today, the shelter. They confirmed it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's real.
They're taking the kids from the parents.
Yes, if they don't have a safe place to take them. And they're closing the shelters by Friday.
Oh,
well,
no.
I think there's a couple of places that are not.
The ones that, the ones we talked to.
There's a couple places that are not because, but one of the reasons why, there's a church. Hold on, wait a minute.
Well, the one where the ones that we know, we need another meeting because the one we had this morning and the place we went to today, that's what they're doing.
No one's going to.
This one place, and I think it's in Burnsville, if I'm not mistaken.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you got a porta potty.
the school.
that. The Red Cross is running that. They are doing
No.
that.
Yes,
they
they are.
Really? Yes,
Today.
we went there.
I don't know if that's the right one.
We were there.
Now, is that the place that's got all of those cots, 3 meals a day, laundry service, hot
They have
showers?
to be out by
Is that the one Nils?
be out by noon Friday. Noon Friday.
Is that-
See,
that's
and
what Nils
everything
is
that has
talking
been
about?
going
The
around
Blue Ridge
on
shelter.
I gotta look.
No, that's why we're so like.
Wow. Yes. Yeah. In it, because you know the seriousness
Yes,
of
and then
it.
like the lady, she's Child Protective Services, and she's on our team, and like she does search and rescue and all that. She said it was real. Like, I didn't believe it. I need you to tell me 5 times this is real. And she's like, it's real. And then we went to the shelter, and she said it's real. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around that being real.
Yeah. And
Like, I still can't wrap my head around it being real.
and that's just the beginning. What they do.
I know.
What they do with these children is.
And they're taking them to Asheville.
Oh no.
My grandmother.
Oh no.
No, that's why we were just like.
DSS is threatening to take away children from parents in Western North Carolina because they're homeless. Red Cross, the one that people donated millions of dollars to, has decided there's no longer a need for them in Western North Carolina and has started closing down their shelter with almost zero notice. So far, they've closed down 3, Old Fort, Marion, and Clyde, leaving hundreds without shelter, and by the time they close all their shelters, thousands. Basically telling them to figure it out themselves, and then having DSS come in and say, well, if you can't figure it out, I'm going to take your kid because you're homeless. You've got to be freaking kidding me. You have got to be freaking kidding me. I can tell you for a fact, Old Fort, 80% of their population is now homeless. You have people over here trying to donate campers and tiny homes, but the county wants to fight people about having permits to put tiny homes down. You'll let them have a tent on their property, but you won't let them have a tiny home without going through all the legal necessities. Again, are you kidding me? I can only imagine what the people in Western North Carolina are feeling like to lose every single thing that they own, including some of their family members, just to be treated like they're the scum on the bottom of somebody's shoe. Y'all so worried about this person and that person doing the wrong thing, but you ain't seeing what's right freaking in front of you.
It's Wednesday, November 27th. I am in Raleigh, North Carolina, here at the Governor's Mansion. He's getting his lawn well maintained and groomed, and I'm sure he's in there waiting to accept his guests for Thanksgiving with a warm meal in their belly and a warm house to reside. Well, over 577,000 North Carolinians are homeless from Hurricane Helene. 126,000 houses have been wiped from the face of the earth, and this governor has done nothing to help its people. He can't account for $2.2 billion that was given to him from FEMA. The other day, he went to Washington, D.C. and had dinner with the president begging for another $25 million. Well, we need $4.4 million for emergency shipping container housing shipped to West North Carolina survivors who are living in tents on contaminated ground with no heat, with parents and children. It's time to get up off your ass, Governor, and do something for your people.
Are you coming to the tree? They strung up a man, they say he murdered 3. Strange things that happened here.
So the Biden administration, especially Jill Biden, thought it would be a good idea to take one of North Carolina's only standing trees, cut it down, and transport it to the White House to represent hope, and have thousands of volunteers from across the country come into the White House to decorate it. Why don't you have thousands of people across the country to come into North Carolina and fix it? Why don't you donate to them instead of taking their last standing tree to put in your stupid White House? And you can go and fact check this. ABC just posted it on their TikTok account of Jill Biden speaking of this as if it symbolizes something. The people of North Carolina don't care that you cut a tree down and put it in the White House. They want their neighborhoods fixed. They want the money that you people have blew through and sent to Ukraine. They don't care about the symbolism of a last standing Christmas tree in the White House. This administration continues to prove how out of touch they are. Wake up!
The help is not coming. The help has not come to Carolina the way that it needs to come. at the rate and the speed it needs to come, as the freezing cold rain is coming in and children are losing their lives. I want you to take a look at this video. And again, these videos get sent to me, but this video really just, I want you to look in the woman's eyes, and I want you to see her facial expressions, and I want you to hear her voice. And at the end of the video, she says 2 words, just with no intentions at all, 2 words: please help. Take a look at this video, and then I'm gonna come back and tell you what I see.
I need you guys to help me get this to Luke Bryan and Eric Church. You guys did an amazing job raising money for Northwest North Carolina, but we're not seeing it to help take care of these folks. We're getting word out of Swannanoa that a family received a camper and moved into it, and then a repo team came and took it. It had been donated. They were forced back out into a snowstorm in a tent with an 18-month-old baby that didn't make it through the night. He passed of hypothermia from what's being told. Could you guys please maybe help us figure out what they're doing with the money that you donated? Because it was given to a governor who doesn't want to rebuild. So he's most certainly not helping people. Please help.
I want to reach out to the current administration. I want to reach out to Joe Biden, and I want to reach out to the Kamala Harris administration. The people in North Carolina need your help. And the citizens, like myself, it is impossible for us to do it alone. Children are losing their lives. Citizens are doing everything they can to help out one another. But the stories that are continuing to come out of the Carolinas are absolutely horrendous. If there was one last thing that you can make right over the next 2 months while the both of you are still in power, is to do right. Do right by the mommies and the daddies and the children that are suffering all through the beautiful state of Carolina. Now, I know there's a big picture. I know the rumblings and the rumors that are happening, but these are people. These are people that are suffering and being separated and being torn apart, and rumors that children are being taken away from their mommies and their daddies. I mean, what are we even talking about? What else is there to talk about if that you cannot stand up for humanity? How much money? I'm going to ask you one more time. How much money is one child's life worth?
The body count is piling up, yet nobody wants to talk about that. I did speak to some law enforcement off the record. Didn't want to be, in their professional capacity naming names, but there's a lot of dead bodies that our National Guard moved off in Chinooks and in reefer trucks and have been brought to morgues. And they're not counting them as dead. They're counting them as undead until they are identified and next of kin named. So, from Spruce Pine to through Lake Lure, down to, Bat Cave, up to Black Rock, and over here into Marshall and Weaver, and out to East Tennessee in Irwin, the devastation is absolutely undescribable. And it's going to be years, decades maybe, before this area is even rehabilitated, if it can be rehabilitated. But what you can see is the codes are already coming in. It's going to be a lot more expensive to rebuild, and these people won't be able to afford it. But you know what happens? You've got companies like BlackRock that are sitting back waiting. You've got the replacement population sitting back waiting for jobs. You've got lithium waiting to be absolutely exploited in these hills. And if we don't do this right, if we don't control the federal government, if we don't find out exactly what all of these FEMA camps that are scattered around North Carolina are actually here to do, which is not, frankly, service the people. They've got, armed guards. They've got what we call civilian housing unit trailers or residential housing unit trailers that they tell you are for contractors to repair the damages you're seeing on the screen. There's no contractors here. There are a few, but they're not the hundreds that they claim that are coming in. So the continued masquerading of the truth is only being uncovered because people like myself and a few others are here digging around, and you're finding that they're publishing the opportunities for people to cash in on something they don't even have anymore so that they can come in and redevelop.
The mud is so toxic, it's disintegrating the boots of people trying to clean up. So we have a real problem in our river that was the purest and cleanest water in the world is now completely toxic and disintegrating people's boots. Yeah, it's bad. We're in a very bad situation.
What's the river called?
The Tow River. The mud from the floods is disintegrating people's boots and their clothing. And my friend that lives down there says that when you wake up in the morning, it has a green haze over it. And they're having nosebleeds and coughing up blood. So anybody near these things is in serious trouble.
Where do all these toxins come from?
Well, so here in Mitchell County, we have the purest quartz in the world. So we have 2 mining companies that have been mining, and conveniently both of their processing locations are on the water. So I'm assuming there may have been some leakage, and then so I'm not sure what those chemicals could be, but I know it's toxic and it's disintegrating people's boots, and I'm assuming that's where it came from.
There's violence down on Market Street, but we didn't know violence till we met Helene. And the good folks are drowning in their mountain homes. You'll have to take a vacation just to bury our bones. It's sunshine and roses on that TV screen. Those talking heads, they ain't seen what I've seen. I've seen a mother standing on top of her house, a baby in her arms as it floated on down. I watched my brother hanging on that limb, like a crucified Peter will live.
Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Then the night wind through the little land. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Way